Hello students, once again I welcome you all in this new video where we are going to revise the nutrition process in human beings and in the previous video we have completed the autotrophic mode of nutrition where we have seen how green plants are going to synthesize their food with the help of a process that is known as photosynthesis. So today we are going to discuss the nutrition process in humans. As many of you are aware that humans are going to represent a mode of heterotrophic nutrition that is known as holozoic nutrition. So what do we mean by holozoic nutrition? Actually, holozoic nutrition is a process in which organisms are going to take food from the external surrounding inside, and then after the digestion process is going to take place inside their body. So such type of mode of heterotrophic nutrition is known as what? Holozoic nutrition, and this involves 5 steps actually. So when we talk about the steps of the holozoic nutrition, what are the steps? So perhaps you are also having a knowledge about these processes, these steps, that ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. So these are the 5 steps which are involved in the holozoic nutrition. Ingestion is a process where organisms are going to intake food from the surrounding. Digestion is a process of breaking down of complex food, that is organic food matter. So in this process, organic food is broken down into simpler form which can be absorbed by the body, and so that the body can utilize it. Now when we consider about the absorption, so since we are multicellular organisms made up of multiple cells, so each and every cell of the body needs to absorb all the soluble products of digestion. So absorption is the process of to take up soluble products of digested food material, and assimilation is the transport of that soluble products after the digestion process, and the utilization of these soluble products inside the body so that the body can grow and perform all its vital activities. And finally the last one is what? Egestion, and this is a process of removal of undigested or waste food material from the body. So these 5 steps are involved in the process of holozoic nutrition, and we, the humans, are representing such type of heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So the first step, when we are talking, that we know that the process is known as what? Ingestion. So when we consider about human beings, we all are having this knowledge that ingestion takes place where? From an organ that is known as what? Mouth. So humans ingest the food from the organ that is known as mouth, and this mouth is having actually 3 specific features. Means it is also known as what? Buccal cavity, because internally it is surrounded by the upper and lower jaw where food is taken inside. So this mouth is having what? A number of teeth, actually 32 in the adult human beings, and these teeth are of 4 types: incisors, canine, premolars, and molars, which are having their distinct shape, structure, and on the basis of their structure they are having also their distinct functions, that cutting and biting, chewing and grinding the food. So these teeth are involved in the mechanical breaking of food. So in mouth or buccal cavity, the food is broken down mechanically with the help of teeth. A fleshy muscular organ is also present, in the buccal cavity that is known as tongue, and it is having a variety of function. So when these teeth are going to break down the food mechanically, at the same time we are having some glands that are called salivary glands. So these salivary glands are present where in the buccal cavity. The three types of salivary glands are there. The parotid gland situated just in front of the ear and beneath the ear. Then submandibular means mandibles means what, jaw. So two types means two sides, not types, both of the sides, lower jaw, mandibles, and one more is there that is known as sublingual. Lingual means what, tongue. So below the tongue, below the jaw, and below the ear but in front of the ear. Three types of salivary glands are there: parotid, sublingual, and submandibular gland. And these salivary glands are going to release some digestive juice that is known as saliva. So when these teeth are going to break down the food mechanically, at the same time simultaneously saliva is released by the salivary glands, and this tongue helps in the mixing of saliva with food. So one function of tongue is what? Whenever we are going to chew any food material, it is going to mix the food properly with the saliva so that it can soften it and it can be swallowed easily. So tongue is also helping in the pushing the food into the next part of the alimentary canal, that is what? Food pipe or esophagus. What is the function of saliva? Actually it is containing an enzyme that is known as what? Salivary amylase, or it is also known as what? Ptyalin. So this salivary amylase or ptyalin is going to break down breaking food chemically. And what is going to break down, since you know that the reserved food material in plants is what? Starch. So whenever we are going to take the food from the plants, we are taking what? Starch. So this saliva is going to break down starch into sugar that is known as what? Maltose sugar. So what is going to break down starch? The ptyalin or salivary amylase. So now you are observing here that in the mouth itself the breakdown of food chemically is going to take place. So mouth is an organ of the human alimentary canal where ingestion as well as digestion will take place. So the digestion, the first question that is asked from here, digestion where takes place in human beings. So you know the digestion starts, means it starts, not takes place. Where digestion starts in the human being. So digestion starts from the mouth itself, because we are having the salivary amylase enzyme which is going to break down starch into the sugar, and this is what? Chemical breakdown of food. Teeth are involved in the mechanical breaking of food, and the tongue is going to help in the mixing of proper saliva with the food, as well as it is going to push the food into the next organ that is known as what? Esophagus. So now this food is known as what? Mouth, tongue, pushes bolus into. This bolus is what? When the food is properly mixed with the saliva, then we call it not food, then we call it bolus. So it is also important, bolus. Bolus is swallowed and it is going to move into the next organ of alimentary canal, that is esophagus. You will be surprised to see that in esophagus no digestion takes place. no digestion takes place, but it is very important because it's having its speciality, that is what, a specific movement, of its wall and this movement is known as what? Peristalsis. So what is peristalsis? And esophagus, its wall is going to contract and relax regularly in a wave-like fashion so that the food can move forward. So it's very important, peristalsis or peristaltic movement, that is the specific feature of esophagus, and it helps to move food forward inside the stomach. So esophagus, no digestion takes place, but its specialty is what? Peristaltic movement. Now this bolus is going to move into the third organ, that is what? Stomach. So stomach is what? When we talk about the stomach, it is a J-shaped structure. In alphabet, English, J-shaped structure having three parts. The first one is what? Fundus. Next one is what? Body. And the last one is what? Pyloric region. So the fundus is what? The region that is connected with the esophagus, then the main part that is known as body, and the pyloric is what? The part that is connected with the next organ, that is small intestine. So what is the specialty of stomach? When we talk about the stomach, the first one is what? HCl, hydrochloric acid, which is released in the stomach, the inner wall of the stomach. This hydrochloric acid is having two functions. The first one is what? Kills microbes in the food. If by chance the microbes are ingested by our body, so the microbes can be killed by this acidic substance, means acid, hydrochloric acid. And the next one is what? It makes the medium acidic in stomach, so that the digestive juices of stomach can work. Mainly the digestive juice, that is what? Pepsin. So this pepsin works when the medium in the stomach is acidic. The next one is what? Mucus. So mucus is released inside the stomach, again in the inner wall, so that it can prevent the effect of hydrochloric acid. And finally, stomach is going to release some digestive juices that are known as gastric juices. So mainly two gastric juices are released here. The first one is what? Pepsin. And the second one is what? Lipase. So this lipase is what? Since it is going to release in the stomach, so this lipase is called as what? Gastric lipase. This pepsin is going to digest, means break down protein. Digestion means what? Breakdown. So this pepsin is going to break down protein, and this lipase is going to break down fat. But what happens in the stomach? Digestion of protein mainly. The breakdown of fat will be partially done by this gastric lipase, but mainly the function of stomach is what? Digestion of protein. Now we are going to move in the next organ, that is known as what? Small intestine. Since here the food was considered as bolus, when the gastric juices will mix in the food in the stomach, now that food will be considered as chyme. So this chyme is what? The food that is mixed. Chyme is what? The food that is mixed properly with the gastric juices and it is partially digested fat and protein also. Now when we talk about the small intestine, what is happening here in small intestine? The specific feature is additional glands, and these additional glands are of two. The first one is liver and the other one is what? Pancreas. The next one is what? The digestive juices of small intestine itself. And finally, the main feature of the small intestine, that is what? The finger-like projections which are going to provide and increase the surface area for the absorption of food, that is known as what? Villi. So when we talk about the small intestine, again it is having three parts, and it is the longest part of the alimentary canal, varying from 5 to 6 meter in length. But three parts. The first one is what? Duodenum. Jejunum and ileum. So these are the three parts. The duodenum, C-shaped structure which is going to attach with the stomach, and ileum, the distal part which is going to attach with the large intestine, the next organ in the alimentary canal. When we consider about the liver, it is going to release bile, and it is very important because bile contains bile salts. Bile salts which are going to make the, again, since in the stomach the medium was acidic, so this small intestine digestive juices can work only when the medium will be what? Basic in nature. So these salts are going to convert the acidic nature of the chyme in the small intestine. So before the food is going to be digested by the digestive juices of small intestine, liver and pancreas are going to release their digestive juices in the duodenum part. So here bile is going to release, that are containing bile salts, and they are going to change the acidic medium into the, removing the acidic medium so that the digestive juices of small intestine can work, and also it helps in the emulsification of fats. Emulsification of fats means the large globular part of the fats will be broken down into small globular parts of the fat. So this process is known as what? Emulsification. And pancreas is going to release its digestive juices, mainly when we talk about, that is what? Trypsin. So these digestive juices are also going to mix in the small intestine with the digestive juices of small intestine, and finally the digestion process will complete here. So when we were observing here, ingestion and digestion what takes place where? In the mouth. In esophagus no digestion takes place. Stomach, again digestion takes place, and especially mainly of proteins. When we talk about the small intestine, we will see here two different functions of small intestine. The first one will be what? Digestion process, and the second one will be what? Absorption process. So this villi, which is the finger-like projection in the small intestine, they are going to absorb the soluble parts, the soluble products of the digested food materials. Means the carbohydrate will be broken down into simplest sugar, that is what? Glucose. Proteins will be broken down into amino acids, and fats will be broken down into fatty acid and glycerol. These all nutrients will be taken by the blood vessels which are lined in the villi, and from here they will be transported to the each and every part of the body, each and every tissue and cell of the body, so that the body can use them. And finally, from the small intestine, the rest food material, that is what? Undigested, will move into the last organ of the alimentary canal, that is what? Large intestine. So here what will happen? Again, absorption of water, and from large intestine the food will be passed to the last distal part of the large intestine, that is known as what? Rectum, and from rectum to anus, and finally the removal of waste material will be done from the human body. So this was all the nutrition process in human beings, where I have discussed only the main points of the topic. I have not explained deeply it because it's the revision time. So I hope you are having the idea what are the main topics or the parts from where the questions can be asked. When we talk about the teeth, here a process is there that is known as dental caries. So you all are aware that if we are going to take the food material, some bacteria which are living, residing on our tooth, they are going to eat also the sugar which is present in our food, and to break down that sugar they are going to release some acids, and these acids are going to decay the outer part of the teeth, that is known as enamel, so making it a soft and decaying part, and this process is known as what? Dental caries. So one question is asked from here also, what do you mean by dental caries? Then when we talk about the salivary glands, again this question is very important, salivary amylase or ptyalin. Why? Because starch is going to convert it into sugar. One experiment is given there in your NCERT book to test the presence of starch and the action of ptyalin on the food material there. That is also very important. When we talk about the esophagus, the question is asked about the peristalsis movement. When we talk about the stomach, all these three topics are very important. What is the function or the work of HCl? What is the function of mucus? Or what are the gastric juices which are released in the stomach? So again, these three are very important. When we talk about the small intestine, liver, this emulsification of fat, frequently it is also asked in the CBSE board examination, what is the function of bile, and what is the enzyme released by the pancreas. So what is the function of villi, what additional help they are going to provide during the absorption of food, because they are going to increase the surface area for absorption. So these were the questions which are very important, and I hope you all will be able to solve them. So in the next video we will see the next topic, that is what? Respiration process. Till then, take care of yourself, be safe and keep studying.